Hi everyone, my name is Beth, and I just finished reading The Connellys of County Down by Tracy Lange. This book is about 275 pages long and was published in 2023. It is also one of the picks for Book of the Month for July for obviously the Book of the Month Club. As of thus far, I'm actually enjoying my subscription. I'm a newer member, and this is yet another enjoyable book of the year. I will say this though, I don't think it's great. There's nothing to really that stands out as bad about this book, but nothing is exactly affecting me personally within this book. I think it's along the same place as The Half Moon, which I read for the Book of the Month for May, in that the characters are actually very well developed. I love how they're written. I love most of the plot of the book. I like the realism that is shown because the main character, Tara, is struggling with a felony conviction. She's just coming out of jail. She's trying to find a job, and she has to kind of navigate through the world that has so many doors closed off to her while she's living at home with her older sister and brother, because those are her really only family members to support her. So I think that the premise is quite great. I love the characters in the book. You have her love interest, which is Detective Nolan, and it's kind of a enemies to lovers story in there, but it's enjoyable enough. I don't think that there's actually a lot of substance behind the romance. I don't think it's very much warranted. A lot of it is really just based off of their appearances, because on their first date, he takes her to a restaurant, and then they go to his place and have sex because they were too emotional to stay at the restaurant. I really can't say much about the relationship. It was enjoyable enough, but it's not one that I'm going to be looking back upon and saying, oh, I want to be like those two in that couple. But I will say the writing, while not immaculate, is very straightforward and well done. There's not a lot of frou-frou to it. You can honestly say that this is more of a bubblegum book because it is enjoyable, but it does have an extremely unrealistic turn near the end, kind of like The Half Moon, in which a lot of it, I love how, there is the struggle and everything is very close to how life should be. And then everything kind of gets taken off the rails near the end in an unenjoyable way. It just feels kind of trite. I don't really feel too engaged when the story is just pressing for a happy ending when it might not be needed. I personally, my favorite endings are actually the bittersweet endings. And I think everything's just wrapped up a little too tightly in a bow. But like I said, some of the best parts of this novel is the character development. And while there aren't really many character arcs, there is one concerning Tara's older sister, Geraldine. She's actually a hoarder. I do find fault with the fact that they don't really go into her hoarding problems. While she does seek help in the book, not her personally, but after intervention, it's never really specified why she is that way, why she's kind of holding on to all these items. Yes, it's obviously because she needs the control, but what is going through her mind? Because she's a very pragmatic character. That's what's really interesting about is why would somebody who is so precise and wants everybody to think the best of her be this kind of hoarder person? How does that mess with her psyche? Because it doesn't seem like she struggles with it all that much. She kind of just accepts it and in a way hides it, but not well enough. So I really would have liked just a lot of deeper dives into, I would say, emotional strife. Because the characters themselves, I'll read into them and I'll enjoy them, but their connections aren't too strong. For instance, her, Tara, the main character's older brother, Eddie, they are very close to each other. Eddie has had some, he had physical trauma that affected his brain. So he struggles from migraines and seizures and had to step down from his dream job because he couldn't work on something with such high priority anymore. And so they do, in a way, have this relationship, but you don't know why they're so close. Yes, they grew up in a hard environment because their mother died when they were young and their father effectively ran away. So you have to think to yourself, why is Tara and Eddie so close, but Tara is not close with Geraldine? And it's just one of those things where I just wish we would have gotten to know why things are the way they are, as opposed to just saying, here it is. And obviously that, I will say, method works very well for some books by just showing where the characters are at. But like I said, there was no development to move forward from. So it was kind of just seeing this plane of glass on an environment. And you don't really see much changing. It's just kind of there. So that's really the only real qualms I have with the book. I think it's good. I'm not going to say great, but I don't think I'd read it again, but I think that to have something tailored for me and reading it through the subscription, I would say it's honestly very reliable as of thus far. Not a bad book, but not a great book. I would say if you haven't read The Half Moon, which I reviewed in the past, this is very much like that book. It even has, I would say, the same problem with the last third of the novel. I hope you enjoyed my review and have a good one.